that no one understand your dance mean you are an artist. I don't know what their problem is, but I'll bet it's hard to completely pronounce. And connection with your reality and mind is consistent. I have plenty of talent in me. I just don't give a damn. That's just an example of useful phrases and words. We should beware to those words that we're going to use. We should avoid using those jargons that only us can understand. Employers often have difficulty interpreting common words and phrases which get awards and enter right agreements in employment legislation. Sometimes these words and phrases may not mean what they say, or others mean exactly what they say about a specific case. I have here there are common words that also mean used in conveying message or when you are conversing, when you are having conversation to your workmates or co-employees. The may and shall. May a common provision industrial instrument in the phrase. Now, withstanding any other provision, the ordinary hours of work may be worked up to 10 hours on a particular day. This word may has been interpreted to mean that while the employer has the discretion to exercise the power, it is not mandatory to exercise such power. May is common words because when you are having a talk with other people, may is very useful because it is easy to understand and it is easy to understand. Next is shall. Another common provision in industrial instrument and employment legislation is the phrase, weekly employees shall be entitled to. When used to impose a duty, shall is a word that has been interpreted to mean that the duty must be performed. Shall is very useful also when you constructing a sentence. Shall is always in the sentence.
Procedures involved in a business meeting. So, first of all, what is meeting? Meeting occurs when group of people gather to discuss and try to resolve meeting matters, which are a mutual concern, recommendations are made, direction given, and course of action decided. For a meeting to effectively achieve these goals, a structure needs to be in place. If a meeting has little or no structure, the results are unproductive, dissatisfying for all concerned. So, we should also consider the agenda. Prior to the meeting, an agenda is prepared and circulated to all members. This agenda forms the structure of the meeting. It states where and when the meeting will take place, and what matter will be discussed. A draft of copy and the minutes of a previous meeting, along with any other relevant material that the members should read prior to the meeting, are distributed at the same time as the agenda. So, the first part of meeting. We should consider the key roles or the key persons at the meeting. Everyone at the meeting is responsible for its success. Some people have key roles to play, including the chairperson is responsible for ensuring that meetings are run effectively and efficiently. The chair considers both the task function of the group. The actions and decisions are the critical to achieve, and the maintenance function, the relationship, welfare, and harmony of the group. Both functions are important and will affect the organization's success. Next, the secretary helps the chair and is responsible for the legal record of decisions and group memory. The secretary ensures the meeting minutes are prepared, adapt, and keep the format available for the member. Then, the committee chairs are responsible for researching issues and bringing options and recommended for the meeting for decisions. And lastly, the members. They should come to the meeting prepared, be on time, keep their discussion focused, and participate in the decision making. So, before the meeting, you should plan the agenda, send out agenda and background information prior to the meeting, ensure all reports and information are available. Notify everyone who needs to know about the meeting. Next, the physical setup. You should consider what is the size of the room, the seating arrangement, and even the questions that should be answered before the meeting. How do you access the room? Who has the key? Or even, where is the room in the building? So, at the meeting, set the ground rules. This agreement for participants' behavior will make meetings more efficient and effective. They should be discussed by the group and revisited periodically. Some ground rules are: everyone has equal rights and can participate. The will of the majority is carried out. The monitory will be heard. Only one topic will be considered at a time. Decision making will be done fairly and impartially. Start and the end of the meeting on time. Do not penalize the people who made the effort to be on time. Use a warm-up activity. As people come together, they should move their thinking from being individual to being part of a group. Use of an icebreaker activity can help build the team. Make introductions. Welcome participants and ensure everyone knows everyone else, especially anyone newcomers. Summarize the purpose of the meeting and the timeline for discussion. It can be useful to write the agenda and points about the issues on a blackboard or large piece of posted paper. This helps participants keep track of the discussion. Use speaker list. Encourage input from all participants. Keep the discussion focused on the topic. Use a parking lot. When unrelated issues are raised, keep track on them in the fill part or background. Explain the acronyms. Ensure all the forms of initials are explained so that everyone is aware of what being discussed. Be aware of nonverbal behavior. Assess when the debate has run its course. Use an action sheet. So, here are the approaches to decision making. There are two approaches to decision making. Organizations should aim to hold fair and democratic meetings. The following two approaches are commonly used for democratic and process are not being observed. It is wisely for more formal process to be introduced. Parliamentary procedure. This is a formal and refined procedure that is especially useful for large group using Robert's Rules of Order or order meeting procedures, resources can give organizations and defined as process to ensure the wishes and the majority are followed. Then, the consensus. This is an alternative decision-making method for similar meetings including board, executive, and committee meetings. Consensus occurs when the participants, through discussion, come to an agreement on the decision. It eliminates an amendment process of the parliamentary procedure. This dedicates and encourages maximum participation. The minutes will reflect that the decision was made by consensus.
As a continuation of Joseph's report, this is the decision-making process. Many times, groups find themselves dominated by an individual or struggling to agree on a course of action. Using a structured process to discuss issues will help improve your meeting efficiency and group performance. The following are brief outlines of some basic processes that the chairperson of member can facilitate. These processes can work best with smaller groups, but large groups can be divided for discussion purposes. Each small group has its own facilitator. Then the large group is reconvened and the results discussed. This process will encourage the quiet person to contribute the moderate impact of more assertive individual. More processes and details can be found in resources on facilitation techniques. And next, concluding the meeting. In concluding the meeting, you should review the answer sheet. This will ensure that the people who are assigned a task are clear on their responsibilities and timelines. Don't forget to confirm the date, time, and location for the next meeting.
Hi everyone, my name is Ian, and I'm here today to tell you what makes a meeting good. First and foremost, there are two types of meeting, the good one and the bad one. So, bad meetings drone on forever, you never seem to get the point, and you leave wondering why you ever are present on that meeting. Well, on the other hand, good meetings usually are effective. Those are qualities of a good meeting. Okay, so effective meetings really boil down to three things. And those three things are they achieve the meeting's objective, they take up the minimum amount of time, and lastly, they leave the participants feeling that a sensible process has been followed. Number one, the meeting's objective. Knowing the meeting's objective really does matter because when you know the objective, you should know the plans, the agenda of the meetings. And once you know the agenda, you should relate the message properly to the listeners. Okay, an effective meeting serves as a useful purpose. This means that in it, you achieve a desired outcome. So, that's it. We do a meeting because we want to reach a certain outcome, and that outcome is, let's say, it depends on the meeting itself. Let's say you want to pursue a certain project, you want to do an activity, and a little bit of to follow up things and events. And for a meeting to meet this outcome or objective, you have to be clear about what it is, because letting the people who attend the meetings know about the meeting itself, or the, let's say, the purpose of the meeting, will make for them easier to understand, and also it will make them at ease because they have at least background knowledge on what we are going to talk about. Okay. Second is use your time wisely. Using your time wisely, because it's being used for almost the way years back, because using time wisely really do have great effects on a person, on a meeting, for both. Because using your time wisely, it means that you are prepared. You are prepared on the layout of the events, or let's say the meeting, the structure. Knowing the structure, you have timed them properly on, let's say, the introduction, on the main lecturing, and also the feedbacks, because you should time them enough for you to have a not precise meeting rather than on a meeting out of the blue. Okay, so using your time wisely. Time is a precious resource, and no one wants their time wasted, because, as we all know, as a future employee, boss, or CEO, you might know that we all do take matters really seriously, because time is a precious thing, because time is money. Yeah, when you're working in an industry, time really is important, because time is money. And then, with the amount of time we all spend in meetings, you owe it to yourself and to your team to streamline the meeting as much as possible. What's more, time wasted in a meeting is time wasted for everybody attending. You see? Because, let's say, I canceled, for an example, I canceled a meeting with my fellow colleagues, my collegiate friends, just for me to attend a certain meeting with other people. So, as a matter of that, learning, setting your priorities. The person who canceled his previous event or prior engagement just to attend this really important meeting, and then it'll be the time is not properly used. It'll just be something like the person, let's say me, will be really an irate. I will be irritated because I canceled my prior engagements just for me to attend this meeting. Okay, and most importantly, for example, if a critical person is 15 minutes late in an 8-person meeting, that person has cost the organization 2 hours lost activity. You see, let's say the bosses and one boss just make it late, then it'll be hassle for other department bosses for them, because why do we need to wait for that person if we have already set the time or the schedule that we're going to meet? And lastly, the third one on the basic structure of an effective meeting will be the satisfying the participants that a sensible process has been followed. Once you have an agenda prepared, you need to circulate it to the participants and get their feedback and input. Usually, this one on this third process, on the last process, hence will be the feedback of the people or the attendees who attend the meeting proper itself. Because of course you are obliged to ask some questions or feedbacks to them, because if they do learn certain things on the meeting proper, and if they want to raise some certain questions, ideas for let's say the event or the meeting, or let's say the idea of making the meeting more we're good, or something like that. Because let's say once you have your agenda, you need to see. Yes, I just repeated. Sorry. Running a meeting is not a dictatorial role. You have to participate in right from the start. So, well, as a matter of fact, a meeting is, we all know what meeting is, because meeting is a group of people talking and understanding, flowing the idea, and usually brainstorming. And after that, usually you need to have a feedback on them. You need to get their feedback. Nag-record lang po.
Our topic is about characteristics. So here's some information what not to do in a meeting so we can have a good meeting. Number one is updates. Siyempre sa meeting, di ba, ang pag-uusapan nyo doon is yung subject or kung yung pinaka-topic ng meeting nyo. Hindi ka nandoon para, kunyari, nandoon yung kaibigan mo, sabihin mo, nandoon ka, tapos ikaw kunyari yung lead, ay, sa Monday, aalis tayo Siyempre, kailangan sabihin mo sa kanya ng individual, hindi doon sa meeting mo masasabihin. So, number two is getting structures of talk. Siyempre, di ba, sa hindi nyo may iwasan na may ka-member ka na tamad, pasaway, gano'n. Siyempre, dapat, pag sa meeting, hindi mo siya i-approach, hindi ka magagalit sa kanya na, o yan na ba yan, hindi mo siya doon papagalit-pagalitan. Kasi syempre, ubos yung time niya sa kakapagalit sa kanya. Hindi siya mamotivate, kaya dapat, kausapin mo siya mag-isa. Nung kayong dalawa lang, para mamotivate mo rin siya. So, number 3 is getting everyone on board. Sa number 3 naman, ito yung, di ba, syempre, yung mga ka-members mo. Kunyari, meron kayong may problem kayo sa project ninyo, tapos nagka-problema, tapos hindi kayo magkaintindihan. Dun sa meeting, wag mo sila isa-isahin. Ang gawin mo, usapin mo sila individual para less time, kasi nga di ba sabi sa meeting, sa mga characteristic of a good meeting, kailangan less time natin. So, number 4 is keeping up enthusiasm. Yung keeping up enthusiasm, yung sa kunyari, nag-meeting kayo, hindi naman, pag nag-meeting kayo, doon mo lang siya i-motivate na, uy, ang galing mo uy, ganito, i-push mo siya. Kasi, dapat, ginagawa mo yun araw-araw. So, that's all. Thank you.
Good afternoon. Okay na? Good afternoon. We're going to conduct a why meeting so far. First, the first working day was done in the wiring pieces on a schedule incompatible with the natural break in one's flow. Then, there are normally all about words and abstract concepts, not real things. They usually contain at least one attendee who inevitably get his turn to waste everyone's time and nonsense. Nagiging cost din ng harm sa ng meeting kasi minsan busy yung mga tao. Okay. Tapos minsan may mga nonsense sa meeting tapos hindi naman kailangan pag-usapan ka. Ganun. May gusto ko sabihin, kaso hindi siya okay. Kaya nagkakaroon ng misunderstanding. They require communication that people will do anyway. Kailangan handa ka sa may nagtatanong Marco, may nag-record. Kapag pinagpatulan na, tapos si ready kang sagutin yung mga tanong nila. Nakita ko sa ano taste na? Yan, no?
We're going to report about how to conduct creative meetings to maximize their productivity and effectiveness. Meetings account for the greatest amount of unproductive time. And there's some tips to conduct a creative meetings. Number one is laughter. Um, Siyempre, hindi naman laging seryoso kapag nagkakaroon ng meetings. So, kailangan may tawanan para hindi ganun maboring yung mga audience mo. Second one is watching comedy shows. Kasi sa lahat ng meeting, hindi lang seryoso or laging tahimik, di ba? Kasi over yung audience natin. So, kailangan meron tayong watching comedy shows. Better, next one is game that create laughter. Ito yung mga interesting games para yung mga audience magkaroon ng interested kung sa topic na ginagawa. Next one is telling funny story. Dito, telling funny story. For example, for an instance, yung speaker na nagsasalita, siyempre, mag-share siya ng mga funny stories dun sa audience na related dun sa topic para magkaroon ng buhay ng pinag-uusapan nila tungkol dun sa topic.
Pangalawa is yung props. Minsan kasi kailangan natin gumawa ng mga ibang props para sila yung isa sa pinaka-effective upang ma-caught natin yung attention ng mga audience. Ang pangatlo is yung outsider. Yung outsider, ito yung mag-i-invite ka ng mga speaker outside your company. Kasi minsan, mas nakakatalo na yung mga specialist dun sa topic na ito-contact mo. Pangapat, yung different business. Ito yung pwede rin kayong mag-meeting sa iba't ibang lugar. Hindi yung nakastak lang kayo sa isang lugar. Para naman ma-enjoy din ng mga manonood o yung mga kasali dun sa meeting ninyo.
Okay, next. Tips for running a creative storm session. Number one is use an energizer or icebreaker exercise. Ito yung mga Q&A question na related dun sa topic. Kaya nagkakaroon ng knowledge din yung mga Letter B, describe the topic to be discussed as a questions. Siyempre, hindi lang naman basta-basta magbibigay ka ng topic agad-agad. Kailangan magkakaroon ka muna ng introduction, so pupupisan mo yun sa questions. Letter C, asking questions as offering thoughts and suggestions. Dito naman, magtatanong ka ng mga questions na dun sa mga audience. Tapos,
pagkatapos ng meeting. Kumbaga ito yung parang reward ng bawat isa dahil sa pag-achieve ng goals nila.
So, meeting should be fun and enjoyable. Thank you. Thank you.